Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the Coaches Show. I'm Miles Poole, along with the head coach of the DDCC Storm, also the athletic director, Matt Ridge, and we welcome you, Storm fans, to the Eatery at downtown Lexington. Coach, we've got a really good show tonight. I want to thank Jay McGannis for being a host for us here again at this establishment in downtown Lexington at the Eatery. Jared Bowman, of course, our engineer tonight, and Tristan Wells and Brandon Mullis manning the camera. We're going to talk some basketball tonight. We've got a kind of a preview of, you guys have been busy the last 5 games since our coaches show. A little bit about what's left the rest of the season, but we have a very special guest again. It's the second time he's been with us, and I'll let you tell the fans who we've got tonight.
It's going to be a great show tonight, Miles, partly because you're running the show.
Oh,
but we have Dr. Hartness, the president of DDCC, here tonight with us, and a lot of our players are here. We have a former assistant coach here. We have our guy that runs our social media here, Kevin Garner. We have the best statistician in all of JUCO here, Emmanuel Teague. So got a lot of important people in the house, including Tristan Wells, manager, Stormy the Cats here. So it's going to be a good night.
Well, let's remind everyone, you guys are 21-2, 15-1 in conference play. You're ranked 4th in the country on a 16-game winning streak. Hot as just about you would want to be. And I want to remind the folks, we're going to be following on Facebook. If you want to ask the coach a question, make a comment. We'll try to get that on for you as well. But let's talk about, Coach, the game since the last show. And we'll start off January 20th, GTCC. You guys came away with a 101-70 win. Now, I mentioned you guys have played a lot of games. This was your 3rd straight road game, your 4th game in a 7-day span. You came out of that game, the gate strong in that game, a 31-point lead, and that allowed you, I think, to spread. Asking you because I don't think anybody but L.J. Rogers played more than 18 minutes in that game. Did that big lead kind of give you a little comfort level to let you kind of spread the minutes out and give your players a little bit of a rest?
Obviously, you know, when you're up 31.5, you can go a little deeper in the bench. But our team, Miles, is so deep anyways. I mean, even in close conference games, we've been playing 9, 10, and sometimes 11 guys, quality minutes. So we do have we feel like we have a deep bench that we can go pretty deep and wear people down, which is what we like to do typically. But Guilford Tech's kind of a scary team, even though they're towards the bottom of the standings right now because they can really score it. I was really proud of how we defended, especially there in the first half. Second half, we didn't keep that same sense of urgency. But the first half of that game, we were really, really good defensively. And when the ball goes in the basket on the other end, everything looks great. So when you do both things and you're getting stops and hitting shots, you know, it looks pretty nice.
You guys have played already this season 23 games, a lot of ball games. As you head down the stretch, question for you, do you manage or adjust playing time or practice any differently to kind of lessen that wear and tear on the team?
Absolutely. And when I was younger, I did not do a good job of that in my career. As the season wears on, especially in junior college, more so than any other level, middle school, high school, even professionally almost, junior college basketball goes from August to March. That's 8 months of basketball. So it's insanely long. The guys get tired of hearing from me. They get tired against each other in practice. So, you know, we really shorten practices this time of year. We spend as much time almost in film session and meetings than we do on the court. Today's practice was about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Some of our players were asking me to do some competitive drills, and I said, no, we're doing it once and we're moving on because I want to get y'all out of the gym so they're not just fresh physically, but especially mentally. This time of year, on game day, you want your kids fresh.
Well, we move to the 24th. Catawba Valley comes to Brinkley. Nice to have a home game. You guys come away with a big 100-81 win there. Second game against the Red Hawks, and you beat them 105-81 back in December. 1st of December, actually. This second game, I didn't see the first one in person. It was one of the more physical games I think I have seen. I think you shot 36 free throw attempts in this game. And in the first game, you went to the free throw line 55 times. Is there something about Catawba Valley? Are they that physical of a team?
Coach Garmouth does a great job, first of all. We know that his players are going to be extremely physical year in and year out. And we knew that going into the game. So we had shown the guys film. We had shown them exactly how they were going to kind of approach us defensively, not just when they're in that 1-3-1 zone, but man-to-man. When they're shooting free throws, they are known for pushing you in the back in numerous ways, sometimes with their lower body. So we really tried to get our guys ready for it. But you can't really simulate it because – it's hard to catch all the fouls. I mean, there's no way the refs can call literally all the fouls or the play would never be continuous. It was just, I was not surprised at all at how many fouls were called that game. We were able to come away with the win. And I'm going to be honest, something Coach Smith talked about in my 4.5 years in Chapel Hill was if you're not practicing and getting better, somewhere somebody is, and when you meet them, they're going to beat you. And Catawba Valley's gotten a lot better. Lewisburg last night's gotten a lot better. So we got to stay humble even though we're on this winning streak, and we got to find a way to keep our kids humble and understand that if you don't stay humble, you will get humbled on game day by somebody somewhere. So I've got to do a better job because the first 8 minutes last night, which we'll get to in a little bit, I did not have our guys ready to play. Well,
against Catawba Valley, one thing I noticed, Javion Jones had 26 points to lead the team. A lot of success going to the free throw line. I mean, I think 12 of his 26 points, almost half of his points, were from the free throw line. And before we came on the air, Javion said something about he needed to work on his jump shot a little bit. But he did a good job of driving the ball in this game. What is it that makes Javion so successful being able to drive the basketball?
Well, Javion lives in the gym. I mean, some kids we recruit, we try to figure out if they really love the game. And we make mistakes, just like every coach in the country in recruiting. But some guys love what the game gives you. Sometimes it's notoriety. Sometimes it's the gear. But some guys really love the game, and Javion lives in the gym. When the gym's closed for inclement weather or whatever, he's texting me, begging me to open the gym up, even on days I'm not allowed to. So, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to coach guys like Javion. I mean, he really leads us in a lot of ways. Him and LJ both, they're our captains. They both literally eat, sleep, and drink basketball. And when you have some of your better players being your hardest workers, it makes the head coach's job a lot easier.
Bryce Douglas had an outstanding game. He came off the bench with 22 points. He also did something. I've been doing these games. I've been following games and doing broadcasting for about 40 years. I started when I was 10, by the way. I'm not that old. But
you got a little experience.
Yeah, I got a little experience. He did something in that game I've never seen a player do, and he converted 2 4-point plays in the first half. Talk a little bit about Bryce's game and how he has, over the course of the season, gotten better.
Well, first of all, defensively, he's gotten a lot better. That's one of the reasons his minutes were limited earlier in the year, but we've known he could shoot the ball from day one, and he showed, actually, here recently, most games we've played, he's shown that he can shoot it. And our guys are recognizing when he's open and getting him the ball and getting him some clean looks. As the season progresses, I'm sure teams are going to figure it out. But Bryce is going to have to do a better job moving without the ball to continue to get open looks. And he needs to for us to keep winning games. So, but our team has done a great job finding him in transition and in our structure of what we do in the half court. He has been injured throughout the majority of the season with a hip issue. And so we try to nurse that. Actually, he sit out of practice today because he got it re-injured last night during the game. So it's an ongoing chronic thing. It's nothing that he's going to have surgery on immediately, but he's been battling with that all year.
Chase Mevin also had another double-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds in that game. He was 4 for 4 from the free throw line as well. It was the third game in a row, I think, that he had scored in double figures. Talk a little bit about the importance of Chase's consistency and how his confidence seems to be growing.
It's funny you bring that up. Dr. Hartness this morning was talking to me about just that on the phone. And, Chase is one of those guys, you watch 2 or 3 plays and you think, man, this is one of the best players, not just in our region, but the country. We see flashes of that. I want to see that edge and that swagger more consistently out of him, even though we have seen more of that. I think, my job is to get him to that level at a very consistent basis. And a lot of it's just between Chase's ears, him knowing that he's capable of doing that. I mean, last night there was a sequence against Lewisburg where he just literally took over the game 3 or 4 possessions in a row. And so, he's got the frame of a Division I player. He's got the athleticism of a Division I player. He needs to get in the gym and become more of a consistent shooter from the 3, but he's shown he can do that as well at times. So, I'm excited about his future just because I see he's nowhere near reaching his full potential, and that's my job to get it out of him. So hopefully I can do just that.
Well, we'll switch gears to Fayetteville Tech. Man, this was a great game. 68-66, come from behind win. I think it was your second game against the Trojans this year. You beat them 70-68 at Brinkley, so really, really close ball game there back in November. You guys were down 10 points with about a minute 30 left, somewhere in there. Tell us a little bit about those last minute and 30 seconds and how your team was able to overcome that deficit.
Well, first of all, the first 38 minutes, I know you said it was a great game, but beg to differ. We were not very good, just to be blunt. We were 3 of 31 from 3, which is the worst shooting performance probably in the history of our program. We were not good from the line. I did not have our guys prepared to guard certain actions of what they were doing offensively. They kicked our butt for 38 minutes, and then all of a sudden, the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, we were unbelievable. And the kids did exactly what I asked them to do. When you're down late like that, you don't want to settle for threes. You want to get to the rim, and a lot of times teams will step out of the way and just let you score because they don't want to stop the clock. Well, fortunately for us, they did foul us several times and did stop the clock, which was best case scenario because we're putting points on the board from the free throw line while the clock is stopped. And during that stretch, I was subbing guys in after the second free throws, set up our defense, and calling a few timeouts. And in the timeouts, the guys would go out and defensively execute exactly what I asked them to do, how we were going to trap, how we were going to switch and do things defensively in our full court run and jump man. So the kids were amazing that last minute and a half. And then, of course, the last play of the game there, we get the ball to Javion after he screens up and opens up, and then, of course, he hits a big-time shot.
Tell us about your thoughts about that last shot. I mean, what was going through your mind as you saw Javion driving down the court?
Javion's one of the guys that I feel like in my 15 years at the college that wants to take that shot. I think we have few of those guys on this team. LJ's another one. Last year we had a situation where we hit a game winner on the road. We've had guys, we've been blessed to have a lot of guys in my time here that really can live with missing that shot. Justin Glover's another one that comes to my mind. So Javion, I had no doubt when that ball left his hand, it had a good chance of going in, and it rattled in, thank goodness.
Well, over the last couple of years, that Trojan team, they played you guys pretty tough.
Coach Herter does a great job, Miles, and it will not surprise me at all if they make a run in the tournament. And I'll say the same thing about Catawba Valley. Those two teams are going to be really dangerous in the tournament, in my opinion.
Coming up close to tournament time, so we could have a rematch there. Central Carolina was your next game, a non-conference game. Coming off that emotional win, you play them the very next day, and it's on the road. How tough is it to turn around after a game like that Fayetteville Tech game and play another game on the road?
So the way all that played out, we played Southwest Virginia, I believe, on Wednesday maybe. I think it was 3 games in 3 days, if my memory serves me correctly. And we moved that game from Saturday to Friday so we could get it in because of the inclement weather that was coming in. Mm-hmm. So we had played 3 games in 3 days, which is exactly what you got to do in the postseason if and when you make it to the national tournament. So in my mind, it was good preparation for that. Not having practice time on the court, having guys in film session, seeing how they can handle taking information from film and a scout report without having on the floor practice. And I was impressed with our guys. They do a great job of taking that information and using it to their advantage, how they're going to guard certain action, how they're going to guard certain individuals, how we close out on this guy may be a little different than this guy. And so I was really proud of how we defended Central Carolina. They shoot the ball so well from the 3. I think we held them to slightly below 30-some% from the 3, which is really good, in their own gym. And we made enough shots to get out of there with a win.
Well, that brings us to last night's game, and you guys closed the deal against Lewisburg. The Hurricanes come to Brinkley, and you keep the 16-game winning streak rolling. Hurricanes came in, they've lost 6 in a row now, right? So they come into your place on a 6-game losing streak, 4-7 in conference play. Were you at all concerned about potentially the loss of focus and maybe looking ahead to Saturday's game?
Absolutely. I told the guys I was very, very concerned about this being a trap game is what I called it, because Lewisburg is fighting for their life to get in the postseason. The way the athletic directors in Region 10 voted, the top 8 teams in Division 2 will make the tournament. So they're currently in 9th place. So if they don't go on a winning streak here the last 2.5 weeks, they're not going to, even be in the postseason. So I knew, number one, that they would come in and be ready to play, and they sure were. They kicked our tail the first 8 minutes. And then I knew our guys, they're looking forward to this Saturday's game, and so is everybody else inside our program, including myself. So I didn't want to hear the words Wake Tech until, last night at 9 o'clock when the game was over. And I was concerned that we would look ahead subconsciously. And, of course, I was concerned from our end, our kids would look at Lewisburg's record and think they weren't good, which is totally not the truth. They're a much better team. They've got 2 starters back that didn't even play against us the first time. So there's a lot of reasons I thought this was a trap game. So I was glad to get out of there with a W last night.
Well, before the game, Javion Jones was honored for getting his 1,000th point. He got it in that Fayetteville game, I believe. So as a member of this elite program, he gets honored last night before the game at midcourt. He also received national recognition for his play last week as well from the NJCAA. Tell us a little bit about that 1,000-point accomplishment and a little more about the NJCAA recognition.
Well, number one, Javion Jones is a flat-out winner. And no matter what he does with his life from here on out, he will be, no matter what he chooses to do professionally and with his family. I'm so proud of what he's done just in the 3 years he's been with us, not just on the court, but more importantly off the court, and how he's grown between his ears. But when I say he's a winner, Miles, his freshman year he was our starting point guard on a team that went 31-1. Last year he led us to the national championship where we lost, and we went 23-3. And then, of course, this year we're currently 21-2. If you add those numbers up, and I'm doing my math correctly, even though I taught math, I'm not a calculator, I think it's 75-6 during his 3 years, along with LJ and Tim Boulware. So, those 3 guys can flat out win, and I try to recruit winners, and Javion is just that. He's obviously won a lot of games, and no matter where he goes next year, they're going to be getting a special young man. I hope that we've got a lot more games left with him this season. I'm certainly going to – I was just telling Dr. Hartness how much I'm going to miss those 2 guys over there along with Tim Boulware. So they've been here with us for 3 years. They're not just great players. More importantly, they're great human beings that I absolutely love and would do anything for.
Well, we're going to take a timeout now and bring in our special guest tonight, Coach. I wanted to, again, remind everyone that if you want to shout out, give us a shout out on Facebook. We'll get that on for you. Tristan Wells is watching. Of course, he's here, and Brandon Mullis is watching also behind the camera. So welcome, Dr. Darrin Hartness, the president at Davidson-Davie Community College. Welcome.
Thank you, Miles. Good to be here tonight.
I think the last time that we talked, the college had just gone through a name change from Davidson County Community College to Davidson-Davie Community College, because you have campuses in both counties. Tell us a little bit about how that rebranding, if you will, is going for you.
I think it's going extremely well. And the reason it's going well is people like Jared Bowman that's here, and all the work that he and the marketing team have done to transition the college from DCCC to Davidson-Davie Community College. I think it's been a positive thing for our community. We have a name now that better reflects the service district that we provide. Great partnerships. Also is a statement that we're a regional college. If you look at Davidson and Davie County, there's not another higher education institution in those 2 counties. So we are our community's college. And it's great to see our signage and our new name out there and people embracing that. In fact, Miles, I brought you a new hat tonight.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
With the new logo, so I hope you will enjoy that.
Oh, thank you.
With our new logo.
Thank you so much. That's nice of you. I'll definitely wear this with pride. Thank
you.
We also, the last time we talked, we were still navigating through COVID, the pandemic, and a year later, here we are again, still not out of the woods yet. Have you guys been able to go back to on-campus class yet?
So we started out our spring semester with all of our in-person learning and labs and clinicals all scheduled as had planned. But as you know, in this community and every community across the state, there's been a sharp spike in the number of COVID cases, and we had some significant absences of faculty, staff, and students. So we made an adjustment, and we made that adjustment to move a lot of our courses into a virtual format, continue our labs and clinicals, as many of those as we could on campus when we had available faculty to conduct those. And our plans are right now to continue that through next week. And if there aren't major changes, we'll go back to in-person after next week. But I am really proud of our faculty, all the staff, and our students for being flexible. We learned a lot through this pandemic of ways that we can do business and we can continue instruction and learning even with some of the challenges. I'm also encouraged that I'm hoping that we're going to be out of the woods here in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Knock on wood. I'm
Me
with
too.
you too. The numbers are starting to
They are looking much
trend
better.
down, which is great. Now, question for you, again, Dr. Hartness, as you look out into the future with your crystal ball, what are some of the strategic things that you've planned and will continue to do to transform and allow DDCC to grow in what will be the new world after COVID?
Great question. And, like Coach Ridge is out there trying to recruit the best and the brightest and the best talent for this team. I think that's kind of my job as president too, and our faculty to go out and our staff to go out and recruit the best people to work at our college. It's my goal to have a caring and compassionate college campus, but also one where we have high quality instruction. And for that to take place, we have to recruit great people. And some of those are here tonight. You got Dr. Jonathan Brown that you've had on this program before.
Yes.
And people like Jonathan are out in our community and building relationships and making connections so that we ensure our college is in tune with what the workforce needs are and that we can provide instruction that will fill the workforce pipeline and, most importantly, give our students opportunities to build new skills, have a better life for themselves and their family.
Well, we talked about the name change. There's also been some other visible changes of support around the school, specifically at Brinkley Gym. So, folks notice now that the court has the Strickland Brothers 10-minute oil change logo and Justin Strickland's name on the court. You've also got, the Jerry Hunt Super Center that has a big plaque on the side of the gym. How special is it for you to see former students and athletes and really lifelong members of this community offering their support to Storm Athletics?
I don't know how you describe that, Miles. You look at a guy like Justin, and I've been fortunate to build a relationship with Justin over the last couple of years and get to know him. And number one, Justin is where he is because he's just a unique young man who's got significant talent. And it's great to see him cherish the experience he had under the leadership of Matt Ridge and through the community college and take that and continue his education and becomes an extremely successful business leader in this community and across the country. And for him to, I know he has a lot of choices of ways that he can use his resources, for him to give back to a college that gave to him and a program that gave to him, that's extra special. And I think it is a testament of the impact and the leadership skills that he learned through being a student athlete in Storm Athletics. And to have the Hunts and other generous people in this community give back to Storm Athletics and to the college is just another testament of the things that we're trying to do to build those relationships. And I'll tell you, none of that would be possible without this guy to my left. We're really proud of him.
Well, let's talk about him for a little bit. I put you on the spot. So at the end of the spring semester last year, Ken Kirk announced that he was going to retire as director of athletics, and you guys had to go out and search for a new athletic director for the college. You chose this guy, and I'll put you on the spot. Say, how's it going? Number one, but what strengths do you see Coach Ridge bringing to the table?
So that's a confidential personnel matter. I can't talk about it. I'm just joking. First, let me tell you how special a guy Ken Kirk was. Ken gave back to our college for many, many years, did an awesome job. I really enjoyed the relationship we had. And when Ken announced his retirement, I knew we had some big shoes to fill. And but I didn't have to look very far to know that we had the right person who could do that. And in just the short time that Coach Ridge has been the athletic director for Storm Athletics, he is just phenomenal. The relationships he's building, the donations that have come into this program, the ideas that we have shared in my office and his office about how we can continue to grow this program and better support it, the resources we want to make available to our student athletes. Matt has a vision and he has relationships. He's a good man. He has his priorities straight. And our student athletes don't know how fortunate they are to have a leader like that leading this program. So I would say it's going pretty good, Miles.
Good answer. In your opinion, Dr. Hartness, what is the importance of an athletic program to a college, university, and specifically to Davidson-Davie?
Well, I think it's a place where our students can come and they can, showcase their talents. They can build relationships that will last a lifetime. These guys are going to know each other for life. They're going to remember the experiences on and off the court, in the bus, during practice, during these games, moments during the games that were special. They're making memories of a lifetime. And all along, while they're doing something, the men and the ladies in our programs, while they're doing something they enjoy, they're building leadership lessons that will last a lifetime. I know in my conversations with Justin Strickland, he can point to things that happened during his athletic experience that has helped him to be the man that he is and the leader that he is today. So, what a gift. In our athletic programs, we can't use state funds for athletics. So it would not be possible without a very generous foundation and donors in the community. So I want to thank all those people who are generous and provide these teams the opportunity to travel, go to national tournaments, hint, hint, and just have the resources they need. And we got some great ideas on the horizon too. So
I know you are you love this team. You're a big supporter of not just basketball, but all the athletics going on, at DDCC. Tell me a little bit about what you think about some of these guys are here tonight. How well this team is performing at this point of the season.
Oh, wow. They're so much fun to watch. I've told you and Coach, if I'm at a meeting and I can't be in the gym or watch them, or if they're traveling and I can't be there, I'm watching online. So I want to say a good shout out as well to Tristan and Jared and you for such great coverage. I mean, the broadcasts are looking so professional. It showcases our sponsors. But what I love is seeing these young men and women grow and develop. I called Coach this morning, and we were reflecting on what I witnessed last night with Lewisburg, and I was just highlighting some of the things that I saw and the growth and development I had seen in them, and I specifically called out the confidence that I see with Chase and how he's developed as a player, and it's just exciting to me. I love basketball. I love the pace. I looked at that team last night, and they were prepared coming in, and at the end of the game, I keep reflecting how conditioned our team is, and how in the end of the stretch, our team's conditioning sets them apart as a team. And that's what we need in life. There's times when things get tough, and you got to have that extra something inside to get you through it. And these guys are learning that right now. So, Coach told me that I told him a minute ago that the Fayetteville Tech game was a great game. He said, I beg to differ. It was not a really good game. The 38 minutes of it, at least. I thought from a fan's perspective then it was a great game. Did you get a chance to watch that? And if so, give me your thoughts on that one. That is one that I missed, but I love watching the highlight reel and especially Javion's last shot there. Just watching these guys and the competition, they have a target on their back. Yeah. I mean, this is the team in this region, this state, and this area of the country to beat. And they go out and they perform night after night after night, and they listen. That's what I think is so special too. They're getting tight spots, and this guy guides them through that. They're coached by one of the best coaches in the country, so they're fortunate to be part of this program, and we're fortunate to have them as students on our campus. Well, your students is exactly what leads into my next question for you, Dr. Hartness. It's more than athletics, right? I want to remind everyone these players are student athletes. And, being a student comes first. Recently, the Storm had 5 members of this team that received an honor, Region 10, all-academic team for the fall semester in 2021. I want to call
call them out: Aaron Ross, Jonathan Faust, Uzziah Dawkins, Jaheim Taylor, and Jeremiah Mott all made that team for their academic work, their work in the classroom. I know you got to be proud of that, but if you would, just remind our listeners or any prospective students or potential future student athletes how much DDC has to offer related to, the education.
Absolutely. I think that's what's special about a community college. We offer over 40 programs at our college, everything from health sciences to advanced manufacturing to college transfer to short-term workforce development. You can come to our college and take 8 weeks of courses, or you can take a 2-year degree track and transfer to university. We've got something for everybody and all different kinds of interest. And if someone's out there listening and they're just not sure what they want to do, maybe they're in the middle of their career, but they know they want to do something else, we're the place where you can go and build those skills for yourself to get that better job, to build skills for a better career, or to just enhance something in your life. We have people come to our college who aren't seeking a degree. They want to learn a new skill. They want to learn how to weld, or they want to do something, unique with their hands. And that's what's special. And when you look at the people in our community, God forbid I'm in an accident on my way home, but I'll guarantee if I were, the people who respond most likely would have been trained at a community college. And we need those people. And we need great workforce. I was in a meeting earlier today about the Toyota battery plant and the Boom Supersonic aircraft company coming into the Greensboro area. They're going to need thousands of workers with very specific skills. Community colleges, not just Randolph, not just Davidson-Davie or Guilford Tech, we're going to work as a region to prepare the workforce for those mega sites. So I would encourage people, check us out. Come in, take a campus tour, go online. Jared's done a great job really outlining what we have online. You can find something that can help you enhance your life at Davidson-Davie.
Well, we thank you for the number one. I thank you for the hat,
Absolutely.
By the way. But thank you for the kind words to the team here and for your time and coming out and spending with us. We really appreciate you supporting this basketball team. Any final words of encouragement for the team? The guys are here.
Well, I would just say, guys, enjoy this time, cherish this time. Life goes by really fast. You're in the prime of your life. We're proud of you. Man, you're showcasing your talents. There's a lot of people pulling for you. I'm looking for great things for the rest of this season. But I want you to know that no matter when or where this season ends, and I hope it's in Danville together, but I want you to know you're all winners. And you've got a bright future ahead. And I also want you to know that Davidson-Davie will always be a home that you can come back to. And never forget the life lessons you've learned throughout this experience. And I'm proud of you, and I'll always be here for you if there's ways we can support you.
Thank you very much for that. Dr. Darrin Hartness, the president of Davidson-Davie Community College. Thanks so much. That was great. Absolutely. Couple of shout-outs coming in here. S.E. Jones, yes, he's great when it comes to calling and keeping us, inform us on the games. S.E. Jones, yes, Coach Ridge is the best. He has played a very important part in Javion's success. So that was great interview with Dr. Hartness. Appreciate him coming out and giving us some time.
Dr. Hartness is the best, and we're so blessed to have him at Davidson-Davie and leading our entire college. He did mention Dr. Brown's here, and I realized when he said that I did not recognize him earlier, so I'm sure I'll hear about that tomorrow in my office. But I also realized sitting here, I looked over Tristan's shoulder, and I saw Natalie Beck over there, and I didn't recognize her either, so I apologize. She's been with us for 4 years, so she's put up with me for 4 years, so thank you, Natalie.
Everybody getting a shout-out tonight is great. We've got some time left, so let's talk about some of the upcoming games. And maybe the conference standings. So your next game is Saturday, 3 o'clock, against a team that has given you the only conference loss you've got this year, an 81-77 setback. It was back in November. That's a long time ago. This time you're going to be facing them at home. And it's at 3 o'clock, Brinkley Gym, so we invite you to come out, check that game out, and pull the Storm fans on to their 17th win in a row. What should we expect against this Wake Tech team?
Well, I really hope we'll pack Brinkley out. Brinkley Gym out this Saturday because it will be an exciting game. Wake Tech's so talented. I mean, all 5 of their starters can score 20. I mean, they're all capable. They can shoot it, they can drive it, they can handle it, and they play together. Offensively, they're a very challenging team to prepare for because all 5 of their starters are very, very skilled and talented. Adam's done a great job of recruiting. All 5 of those kids that start can really, really score it. And he's also got a few kids for the second semester he didn't have for the first semester, so he's a little deeper than he was. So we're hoping that we'll be able to shoot the ball at a high level Saturday. We've been getting up a lot of shots the last few days in practice today and a few days before we played Lewisburg. So we've been scheming hard defensively on how we want to guard certain actions and what they do. So I'm looking forward to the game. I know our guys have been looking forward to this game since November. It should be a fun game for everybody, including our community, to come out and be a part of before they go home and hopefully watch those Heels whip Duke.
I knew you were going to get that in.
I had to.
You had to.
Yeah.
It's in your blood. So talking about the loss against Wake Tech, I know coming out of that game, you certainly said, man, we need to improve in this area or these areas. At this point of the season, now reflecting back, how do you think you've done in those areas that you need, that area or areas that you needed to improve in?
Well, the first thing was our defensive transition. They whipped us in transition on multiple occasions. They do a few things differently that we were not really well prepared for, and that falls on me. Today we worked on that both in film and scout report and on the court. So I'm hoping we'll be more well prepared on Saturday afternoon. But D-transition comes to first mind. And then they have certain players that are, they can score at all 3 levels. So we're going to have to do a better job on the ball, but also off the ball when they get it. And there's certain things we can do there to hopefully scheme-wise control what they're doing offensively. But like I said, Miles, they're a tough team to prepare for because they're so talented, they're skilled, they play together. So we're going to have to play at a high level on both ends, but especially defensively.
Well, after the Wake Tech game, you've got Patrick and Henry on the road, and then you've got 3 home games, back-to-back games with GTCC, Johnston, and Pitt before our next coaches show. And then you've got one final game on the road against Bryan and Stratton. Now, all of these games are huge, Coach, as we are looking to stay atop the Region 10 standings. Is it the same setup as last year? Does the regular season champion get that automatic bid to go to the national tournament?
Short answer to that is no. The winner of our regional tournament gets an automatic berth. And obviously, if you are the 1 seed, it's a huge advantage in the regional tournament because the ADs in Region 10, all 40-plus Region 10 ADs voted last week for the regional tournament in Division II to be held at the higher seed. So if we finish 1 in the regular season, we'll get to host as long as we keep winning that last week during the regional tournament in Brinkley Gym. And having our fans and being in our gym obviously would help our chances. But with that being said, the first way to make it at Danville is to win the tournament. The second way is if you win the regular season and you don't win the tournament, you get to play a 1-game play-in game with the Florida D2 winner of their regular season, and that winner of that game also will get to go. The reason for that is Florida is supposed to be getting more and more teams in Division II down from D1. This year they only have 2, so they come up and usually play in our tournament. But this year the rules kind of changed a little bit in the agreement with the national office. So the winner of their regular season will play a 1-game tournament, 1 game to play to go to the national tournament.
Well, you're 9-0 at home now this season. In 14-plus seasons, you guys are 220-19. Now, I'm not a math teacher or math major, but that's 92% winning percentage, which I don't think anybody in the country could match. With 4 of your last 6 games in the regular season at Brinkley, how much of an edge do you feel you get from that 6th man, the Storm fan?
Our Storm fans are so loyal, dependable. They show up almost every game, energetic, enthusiastic. You got guys like Kevin Garner that are there, not just for a lot of the home games, but even on the road. I mean, Dr. Brown's been to several games. Dr. Hartness was there last night. All of our players' parents just about travel from all over the state. I mean, it's just a neat thing to be a part of. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of is the family atmosphere we have, not just with our players, but their parents and people in our community that really invest time and money into these guys in our program. So I hope it will be a fun place to play Saturday afternoon. I hope our fans will make plans to come out, be there early by 2:30ish, and pack Brinkley out, and hopefully it'll be a sellout.
Well, we invite you to be out there. The game starts at 3 o'clock. Get there early, get you a good seat. Looking at Region 10 basketball, we're looking at the standings now. So as we head into the final month, you look at them here. Any surprises where everybody stands right now?
Well, first of all, the fact that we're number one, like Dr. Hartness said, is it just puts a huge bullseye on our chest, and you're only as good as your next game. So right now, my total focus is on winning one game, and that's Wake Tech. I'm going to go home tonight and do some work to prepare for tomorrow, not just film, but also in practice, and go at it hard tomorrow and try to make sure I do my job and get these guys prepared. But when I look at these standings, I'm not surprised that Wake Tech, Fayetteville Tech, and Catawba Valley right behind us. All three of those are well-coached teams. They've got a great roster. Their coaches have done a great job recruiting. And then right behind them, you got Johnson, who normally is not in the top half of the conference. So their coach has done a great job recruiting, and we were fortunate to get out of their place with a win earlier in the season. And then Pitt's normally really good. Bryant Stratton's always good. Southwest Virginia this year is much improved. They're one of the best shooting teams in the region and country. And then Lewisburg is definitely not the ninth best team in our league. It would not surprise me at all, especially after watching them last night kick our tail the first 8 minutes, for them to be middle of the pack to upper half after these next 2.5 weeks. That would not surprise me at all. So, yeah, there are a few surprises where they're currently at, especially with Lewisburg being down towards the bottom, but it would not surprise me at all if they're in the middle of the upper half.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the end of the season shakes out, but the tournament's going to be really fun and interesting, and we certainly are pulling for a Storm to take that. So, come to our final question. We talked a little bit about with Dr. Hartness, and we got a few minutes. Strickland Brothers and Jerry Hunt Auto. Take a few minutes to recognize some of the other Storm sponsors that we've got, and if folks out there are interested in helping support this program, Storm Athletics, how can they do that? Right
after Strickland Brothers and Jerry Hunt Auto, Todd Hunt, we have Mohawk Industries as well as Fidelity Bank on the side of Brinkley. Their sign's a little bit smaller. They gave a different type of package in terms of what they gave. But their company is on the side of Brinkley. We have several spots left, so if there's any company out there listening that is interested in getting on that level with us and partnering with us, please give me a call or an email. I would love to sit down and talk with you about how it can be a win-win for not just our school but also them and their company. We have several packages that we can offer. We want to help the community. We want to help businesses grow. And then also we have BB&T Truist, Edward Jones, Sage Auto. I went to high school with their owner, Randall Sage, Dow Craver Associates, Novant Health, and McIntyre Manufacturing. So we have, I think it's about 8 to 10 businesses that are already graciously giving us money to help us with our needs of our basketball, our volleyball, and golf programs.
So that's going to
I was going to say, I know earlier you mentioned you wanted to talk to the young man that hit the game winner. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Bring him up here.
Mr. Javion, come on up, buddy.
Come on up.
Yep. Don't look surprised.
He can't have my hat. This.
Grab that chair, Javion.
All right, we're going to chat with Javion Jones, the guard out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Javion, pull up a chair, come on in. First of all, congratulations last night at before the game at midcourt. You got presented with a ball, 1,000 points in your career as a DDC player. Tell me a little bit about what that means to you.
I would say it's just another accolade to add to Grandma's collection because she loves getting the awards that I get. So through high school and since I've been here, all the awards that I've got, she has gotten, and it puts a big smile on her face. You
also got a nice recognition. This is national recognition from the NJCAA. You were named Division II Men's Basketball Player of the Week for the week prior performance where you had 24.7 points per ball game, 28 rebounds, 13 steals. Those points per game, none more important, I think, than the big shot you hit against Fayetteville Tech. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I just wanted the ball. I felt like a lot of stuff that happened during that game, I could have done better, like passing the ball earlier to some of my teammates, rebounding more and stuff like that. And I felt like nothing would be better than hitting that shot and basically getting that win, getting up out of there. But I would say if it wasn't for my teammates, then we wouldn't have been there because it wasn't just me. Like LJ got a steal and a layup to put us up, and they did get 2 free throws to tie the game. But without that steal, then we wouldn't have been there.
One thing I noticed, and I've noticed this the last couple of years that I've been around you guys, you never panic. Emotionally, you never panic. I mean, you guys were down 10 points with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, but the look on your faces was we're going to come back and take this thing. You've got confidence in one another, don't you?
Yeah, we've been there before. Our freshman year at Lewisburg, same thing. Teams don't want to foul when it's late in the game, so attacking the basket is your best option. Is either you make the layup or you get fouled. And Coach Ridge always preach poise, and you got to have poise to win games. I mean, you also got to be more conditioned and stuff like that, but poise to win games.
So you got a big game coming up Saturday. The first time you guys played Wake Tech this year or this season, you didn't play in that game, so you've not been on the court with them. What are you looking forward to about this game Saturday?
We're all hungry. I mean, they beat us, and that night they were the better team, but we all know that we're the better team overall, so we're just hungry for that game.
So I want to give you a compliment and give you some words of encouragement. Last night, you did a couple of things that really impressed me as a young man. You come and you speak to the crowd, and I've heard you and LJ do it twice, before, but you spoke to the crowd before the game, and one of the things you said when you got the mic was you said, I'm not real good at this, but I just want you to know you are. You need to have confidence in that. You're a well-spoken young man, and the times you've been on here, I've noticed that as well, so you are. But you did something that was really cool. You were getting some acknowledgement, but you turned it and you thanked and acknowledged the Storm fans. You acknowledged your teammates because it is a team sport, and you acknowledged your family, and those 3 things. I thought that was pretty cool.
Thank you.
So congratulations. You guys go get them Saturday.
Thank you.
Javion Jones. Coach, any final comments you have?
Well, I just want to thank everybody that makes this possible, including the owner of the Eatery, if Jay's still here, and then, of course, Jared and, Coach Mullis, Tristan, everybody that makes this happen, and certainly you, Miles. You're unbelievable. You create such a great opportunity for our listeners online, not just here but on game day. And then, of course, Kip, if you're listening tonight, thank you. You're unbelievable, the voice of the Storm in Brinkley Gym.
Well, I enjoy doing it. I love being around you guys and appreciate you letting me be part of the family. So our next coaches show, folks, Thursday the 17th, 7 o'clock right here at the Eatery downtown Lexington. Come join us or text us on Facebook, and we'll get you on the air. But we want to see you at Brinkley Gym Saturday at 3 o'clock for the game against Wake Tech, and we certainly appreciate you supporting Storm Athletics.
Thank you, Miles.